Good afternoon. Welcome to One Thing Tech. We are talking today about Keller Mortgage, and this is a workshop, folks. So whether you're watching the recording or if you're watching live with me right now, go ahead and pull up another window, a web browser. Just open up Chrome, and you can go to the website with me, and you can fill in your stuff. We're going to do this step by step and get your entire profile set up, and then walk through some of the resources that you have available to start leveraging Keller Mortgage to, one, sell your listings faster, two, sell your listings for more, and three, to prospect for more buyers and to add more value to them as well. So many of us have existing relationships with lenders, and they're critical. They maybe help pay for our marketing. Perhaps they send us referrals. My intention is not whatsoever for you to stop doing business with them. The intention is for you to be aware and to be equipped so you can utilize the great tool that we have that is Keller Mortgage. For some folks, it's the right tool. For some folks, it's not. Regardless, if you're a listing agent and you carry listings, this is a tool you can leverage to protect your seller's investment. Even if you don't leverage this for buyers at a high level, you can certainly leverage this for sellers. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to jump right in. All right. So we are very simply going to go to portal.kellermortgage.com. It's going to open up, and this will likely log me. Okay. So I'm logged into my wife's account, Jocelyn, because she's never logged into this before. And so we're going to take and take it step by step. If you have a team, if you are the rainmaker or a member of the team, there may be a value in using one central location. So whoever we refer it through my portal because it's one place. And you'll see in a moment how we can manage any of the deals that we have in process with Keller Mortgage. If we keep it under one profile, it's one place to manage all those clients. It's going to ask that you mark that you understand all these. These are disclosures, and then you'll submit. This is your dashboard, folks. And this is the dashboard that you should be seeing right now if you've never logged in. If you have, you may up here in the right-hand corner at the top, you may see a profile image of yourself. In this case, we never have. You can sign out. But in this case, we're going to jump into settings from the dashboard. I'll go back, my KM settings here at the bottom. We're going to click in, and we're going to customize the profile. This right here is your personal link. Folks, you can use this right now without customizing anything. If you copy and paste this link into a text message, into an email, whatever the case it is, you can send this out, and this is your clients or the buyers on your listings opportunity to start the pre-approval process with Keller Mortgage. You can select your loan officer here as well. You can customize your signature as you mail things out. You can select your notification preferences. Oh, let me go back. So here we can see our deals. And as we refer people to Keller Mortgage, we can see any of the buyers that have come through. We can see all the stages at which, and in a few minutes, I'm going to jump over to a live view of mine so you can see what it looks like as it comes through. But you can see anybody who's started the loan process, anybody who's been pre-approved, anybody who's been denied, anybody who's in the process of a loan or has closed. You'll be able to see a log of all of that. Come back. To refer a client, so instead of just copying and pasting your pre-approval link, you can also come here and just type in their name, type in their email address, type in their phone number instead, and you can choose whether you're going to send them an email or send them a text with the link to download at that time. You can say whether you represent the buyer or the seller at that point, and then select your state, of course. This is blank right now because you don't have a primary loan officer, but once you do, it'll show their information. This is a pretty great thing that the full customization came out just this year at Family Reunion, where we've got a ton of loan officers around the country. You may want one that's here local to you, or you may want to refer one that you know personally, or perhaps you want to refer one that you've used in the past and they just served your clients at a really, really high level. Well, you can go in and select them. Let's do that real quick. So we'll go back to KM settings. click on loan officer, and this is where you can search. You can select your state, and you can select a loan officer here. There are a ton, folks. All right, so let's go. So we'll go back and we'll set up our profile. And this is, there we go. Okay, so the profile here is ready to set up. This pulls in, I believe, from White Pages. So if things need to be edited, you can jump into White Pages and customize a lot of this. We looked at loan officer. You can look at your team. So you can invite additional agents to your team. So if you run this from a Rainmaker perspective, you can add additional agents and you can create the team name, have a single phone number that comes in here as well. So if I wanted to find myself, I can simply type this in and it'll invite in outside team members. I can see right here, we're both marked as Rainmaker, so we're already on this, we're tied together. Your signature. So you've got two options here. You can either have your personal signature that you send out, or you can send out from your team instead. This can be customized. It doesn't have to. It looks pretty nice the way it is already. You may want to come in here and change what email it shows up as. Make sure to hit save anytime. There we go, and we'll get the little notification here at the bottom right. Your notification preferences. Now, the great piece about this is you will not only get email or text message if you choose, you can also get, or you will rather, get notifications right there within Command and through Kelly as well. If you've got Kelly downloaded on your smartphone, you will get a notification at the top that tells you when somebody's moved on to a different stage. So if you have a new application, say you run a Keller Mortgage ad on Facebook or Instagram, and they file for pre-approval, not only will you capture that lead, but then it'll show up as a notification that says, hey, you've got somebody new that is submitted through Keller Mortgage. Jean asks, are those loan officers that are living in that state or licensed in that state? These should be loan officers that reside in that state. Most of these loan officers are going to be equipped to serve the state. Let's see, let me pull this up. I believe that they all are ones that reside here. There we go. There are some that we cannot select, and I don't know, that maybe because their workloads are too much. I'm not sure, but that's a very good question, Gene. I'll see if I can get an answer to that. All right, so notification preferences, we can change here where we want the email sent. I guess we cannot change here. This is the one that's in the system already. And same deal, here we go. So you can also send, and this is where if you want it to be sent to another, this is what I was looking for here. If we want this to be sent to another email address for notification, we can then also send it there. Make sure to save, and then you can move on. Come back to home. All right, now setting up your profile is really that simple. Do we have any questions at this point? G says, we saw Rob Seiler on the text list and work with him and his wife and physically located in Ohio. There we go. I guess we got an answer there. So
yeah, most of them are not necessarily located in the state that they are licensed in.
But they're licensed here. So Keller Mortgage originally, because it was an existing entity before being purchased by Keller Williams, it was a company in Ohio. So a lot of the loan officers still reside in Ohio, but they have hired loan officers all across the company, or all across the country rather. I know we've got loan officers in Florida that are licensed for Texas as well, and all the rest. All right, good stuff. So so let's look real quick at a couple different things. Before I switch over to my account, because that's really all you need to do, folks, to get it set up, let's look at the marketing real quick. This is a whole bunch of resources you can use to prospect for your clients, to include in your listing presentations. The first thing you see here are flyers. Now, the buyer flyers, these are all customizable. So if you're prospecting for buyers, you can see them here for listings. If you want to insert them into a listing or advertise, you can use these as well. Print open house flyers to include in your open house. Guys, these look really nice and they can be customized and used in social media as well. So they don't just have to be print, just know it's that format. If you do want something dedicated for social media, you can click here, and this is a whole suite of logos and different pieces that you can post out. Again, they're all customizable. They're all branded to you. They all require the necessary legal disclosures for advertising for a mortgage company, because there's different rules that apply compared to just advertising for real estate. You can also see the logos here, get them in black and gray. These are going to be, and you'll see a few different, so EPS is going to be a very high quality image. PNG, we've talked about this before. This is higher resolution than JPEG, but it's not a massive file size. This is generally something that you'll use if you're dropping it onto a website, for instance. They can have a transparent background, whereas the next one over, JPEG, will have a white background or a colored background of some sort. It will not be transparent. The PNG, on the other hand, you only see the positive imagery. All the rest is nothing. So it'll be whatever color the background you drop it on. And the last, this is, I would argue, very important. Understand what you're doing when you start advertising with it. There's been a lot of success running Facebook and Instagram campaigns through command, leveraging Keller Mortgage and the 0+ loan program. But because there's different rules, we must abide by them. So make sure, download the advertising guidelines, read them over, be familiar with them, ask your broker, your team leader, if you have any questions, if you have concerns. The ABA form, I'll pull this up real quick. Affiliated business arrangement disclosure. This is pretty critical. And this, if you watch the listing presentation or the buyer's presentation videos, this is included in those, in the listing and the buyer's consult within command already. If you present a buyer or a buyer's agent with the option to have Keller Mortgage, it's imperative that we share this as well. Again, any other questions about that, just simply ask your broker. Folks, that's a whole tour. What questions do we have before we jump over to a live account and look at some of the reporting and tracking of deals? Awesome. I'm going to sign out here and then just simply sign in. So we're going to look at two things as soon as my screen loads here. We're going to look first at, there's a whole bank of scripts that you have access to. We'll look at how to track the deals, and then we will look at how to customize these marketing flyers for your use. So on the right-hand side here, and I will say there is a tutorial. So the first time you come in, it's going to ask if you want to take a tour of Keller Mortgage. I highly encourage you. It's less than a 5-minute video, and it gives you a really great overview of all the different tools and how to customize and all that. These scripts are fantastic. So Jordan Davis is an agent with a team local to Arlington in North Texas. And she's been a front runner in saving her buyers tons of money and prospecting new business utilizing Keller Mortgage as well. There are agents converting open house leads at a much, much higher rate because of offering Keller Mortgage as in addition to that. You'll have objection handlers here. There are videos, there's written out scripts. These are great, great pieces. If you want to just know more about it, this is where you'll find the tutorials and how to walk through all of that. If we go over to deals, we can see clients currently in process. We can see ones in the past. We can see archive deals as well. And it tells you pre-approved, begun loan process, unable to qualify, application completed. We can see precisely where they are in their process. Makes it great. And anytime it changes from one status to another, again, you get a notification. You stay up to date. Gone are the days where we have to reach out to a loan officer to ask where we are in the process. If the appraisal has been ordered, well, it's going to show right here on this screen. You'll know, and you get the notification. We can see any properties that that apply, or if we know the general area, know if they're under contract. All right. We can see reports. This is bugged because I run process, or I run production through a different way. But anyhow, if you're running production through your license number and you're referring through Keller Mortgage, you'll see all your stuff there. All right. So let's look real quick, and we're going to customize a flyer. So buyer flyer here. We could download this. Again, it has the ABA on the second page for us to disclose. If you have Adobe Acrobat, you can customize it in there. Otherwise, we could take this entire piece and pull it up into Command and customize it there as well. So let's look at doing it within Command. One second, folks. So we've downloaded the PDF. Now, again, I can pull up Adobe Acrobat. At this point, you could pull up, if you want to use PowerPoint, if you want to use Publisher, you can customize that, that flyer any which way you'd like. If you'd like to instead do it in Designs, I'm going to come in here to Designs, hit the plus button at the bottom right. We're going to import a PDF and hit Next. Now, this is going to be the same interface as creating a brand new template from scratch. Instead, we're going to import a PDF, and it's going to make it editable within Design. So we can drop in our own branding, our own logos, change just about anything that we'd like. Over here on the right side, if you have your window open, you can just drag a file and drop it in there, or we can simply click on that box. I'm going to pull this open. I'm going to click on the KM Buyer Flyer. I get a progress bar at the bottom right that tells me how far it is to complete. There are some times during the day where it takes a whole lot longer. Don't be surprised if it looks like it's in process and you can't use it right away. Sometimes it'll take 5 or 10 minutes. Just know that this is being processed elsewhere and uploaded into the system. So we may not have immediate access, but once we do, it'll work just like any other piece. This has frozen up. There we go. Okay, so it's telling me that it's missing fonts. So I'll simply come here and select which font to replace it with instead. You can choose just about whatever you'd like. Once you do choose all the fonts, it's going to swap those out within the flyer automatically. Will it continue? It's going to continue processing. We're going to keep editing in inches because it's a print flyer. And then click Edit. So this is pulling up in Designs, our flyer. And these pieces, as soon as this finishes loading, are all now editable as individual objects. So like as if we had it in a PDF editor, Now we could take this entire thing and move them around wherever we like. We can undo that. So if I want to say, instead of contact a Keller Williams agent today, I could just simply type preapproval.texassoldem.com. Instead of contact A, say simply visit. You could drop your phone number in down here. Let's try that again. That's simple, folks. Drop your headshot in there if you'd like. Drop your logo in there somewhere if you choose. Whatever you feel you need to make it your own. When you're ready, you can download. Make sure to download the PDF and print it. Again, you could take this same exact piece, you can print it out, you can save this as a photo and upload it to your Facebook page, really whatever you'd like. If you want to weave this into your digital listing presentation as well, you can do that and really make it your own. That is it, folks. Very simple tool to use. What questions can I answer at this point? Any ahas today? Anybody have a buyer they're going to introduce this tool to this week? All right.
That should be yes to everybody.
It should be a whole lot of yes. Nicholas is going to do it. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here today, guys. On Wednesday, we are looking at, I believe, let me verify real quick. By the way, you can always go to onething.tech and view these videos after the fact. I just dropped that into the chat box there. Last week we covered buyer presentation, and we talked about the entire listing, or sorry, the entire buyer consult. We talked about touring with them. We talked about introducing them to our app and to our agent site as well. Join us this week as we look at launching ads and working those ads as well. Thanks for being here.
Hey,
Bye, guys. Yes.
You can also find the calendar for the One Thing training on the North Texas Facebook page as well.
That's right. ntxnmmforum.com. Thank you, Christy Lee. Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Everybody have a great afternoon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.